Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mungekyo World, also known as Amadeus AM on Balmont server, and welcome to my stream. Okay, so today we're going to talk about leveling in the popular MMO, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. So, starting off, you'll get a bunch of cutscenes and, you know, the regular stuff for story-related MMO. But afterwards, you'll be given an introduction quest introducing you to the game and whatnot. Afterwards, however, you're free to explore the world. And now, this game has a lot of jobs and classes here. As I am displaying to you here now, you have Gladiator, Pugilist, Marauder, Lancer, Archer, Rogue, Conjurer, Thaumaturge, Arcanist, Dark Knight, Machinist, Astrologian. Now, starting off with the Realm Reborn, the jobs that you will be able to obtain are Gladiator, Pugilist, Marauder, Lancer, Archer, Rogue, Conjurer, Thaumaturge, and Arcanist. Now, to get these jobs, there are various guilds throughout this game's world, which is known as Eorzea. And to get to the different areas, you have to progress through this main story quest, which you are given to by your associated Adventurers Guild proprietor, which is either Baderan here in Limsa Lomensa, or Mother Mione in New Gridania, or also Momodi in the Quicksands in Ul'dah. So you'll get your main quests mainly from these three proprietors to start off. Now, as you progress through the main story quest, you'll be given a small amount of EXP. It's pretty decent, enough to get you going, but really, there are other ways of obtaining EXP in this game, which is what I'm going to talk about here in this video. So, first, considering that this is beginner's guide, and I'm assuming newer players, you're confused as to what do I do to level up? Well, to answer that question, your first method is the one I mentioned before, your main story quest. Now, as you keep progressing through this, you'll gain steadily amounts of EXP, and it'll help you level a little bit, but it won't exactly help you get a big push to the max level that you want to be at, which in A Realm Reborn, this game, is level 50, and that's where it caps at. So, let's talk about the other methods. Throughout this game, you will see NPCs that have question marks above their heads. These are side quests which you can take on at your own leisure. They don't have to be done right away. They can be done anytime at all, but they're based upon your current level. So, say you're level 1, then you'll want to take on level 1 side quests. And these will give you about, I'd say, anywhere from 350 to 500 EXP, which at level 1, that's quite a significant amount, so it's not too bad. Now, the other method after side quests is your hunt log, which it will automatically be assigned to your hotbar once you start the game, and it's unlocked through going to your associated job or class guild, which when you start the game starting off, you'll pick that from the creation menu which job you want to start off, which is the jobs I mentioned before. Now, after you speak with your guild master of the guild that your class is associated with, they'll give you a hunting log. And in this log, you're given lots of different monsters to poach. Now I'll show that to you here. And this goes by levels as well, your current levels. So starting off, it will go from 1 all the way to like 20 or 30. And then it'll show what you're hunting, what area to look for them, and the amount of XP you get earned from hunting those. Now at the top here, it will show you a bonus reward for hunting all of these monsters that you come across in the open world map. It's recommended that you do this as you're starting off, alongside with side quests and main story quests, because this will help you level up pretty good. Now, as you progress through the main story quests, you unlock another leveling method, which is known as guild hests. These can be accessed via the duty finder, which you will unlock through main story quest as well. These right here. And these also give you a steady amount of EXP. Granted, however, the downside is that you could be waiting for quite a while waiting for them to spawn. But other than that, it's a good source of EXP. And not only that, but you get a completion bonus with some pretty good gil for if you're just starting off in the game and don't have a lot of gil, which is the in-game currency, by the way. And that will help you with stuff that you need, such as gear, weapons, accessories, and with just basically teleporting and riding chocobos around. Now, aside from the... Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, but aside from doing these guild hests, you'll also unlock what are called leave quests. And I'll show you here. Over here in this guild, which is the guild in Limsa Lominsa, you'll talk to the Levmeet to use these leaves. And these leaves are basically quests, kind of like side quests that you do, only they're more timed based and action based. And each leave has a different type of task that you can complete. And these are unlocked through the different areas that you go through in the game, such as Lenotia, Thanalan, or the Black Shroud. And basically, these will give you a pretty good sum of EXP to complete. And they're also repeatable for 100 times. You can repeat them 100 times, because at the bottom here you can see Lev quests and allowances. The allowances is how much quests you're able to undergo from the Levmeet here. And that's capped at 100. So you can repeat these quests 100 times basically to gain some good EXP. Now next thing you'll unlock from those, as you obtain level 15, you'll receive a quest from Baderon over here. And the quest is called It's Probably Pirates. This is a main story quest that you'll unlock as you progress through the story up to level 15. And basically, as you go to unlock this quest, you'll find this place that's called the Novice Hall. And I'll show you that here. But basically, in this novice hall, you'll essentially be able to get a basic understanding of the job or class that you are currently playing, as well as basic information about the battle system that's in place in this game. It's really, really helpful, and it's very, very recommended by, you know, your free company, your groups, or any player that you come meet in game. They'll tell you it's very highly recommended that you come to this before you jump right into dungeons. Well, basically here in the novice hall, you'll talk to this guy here, the smith. And by talking to him, you'll be able to take on quests, which you'll go to register for Hall of the Novice training. And you'll be assigned training drills to go through. And in those training drills, you'll be taught about your job, as well as a basic structure of how the battle system works. Now, by completing these, you get a very, very good accessory, which will help you a lot with leveling. Now, that accessory, which I'm going to show you, is called the brand new ring. Now, if you can see in the description, increases EXP, experience, earned by 30% when level 30 and below. Now, what this means is that as you're going through fighting monsters or mobs or whatnot, you'll get a 30% bonus attached to the EXP you earn from killing a monster or mob. And that will help you a lot. The 30% really helps a lot. Now, another thing that will help you with leveling, aside from that accessory, you have various types of food that you can get from side quests, or you can buy from any vendor that sells them. Now, basically, depending on job, you'll notice the stats: skill speed, vitality, critical hit, or spell speed, vitality, accuracy, mind, intelligence, and whatnot. And that increases those attributes by whatever percent the food has listed on it. And at the bottom, you'll see in green, there's a 3% EXP bonus, which lasts for 30 minutes. Now, that is pretty good, considering if you attach that with the ring, you're basically getting a 33% bonus to the EXP that you earn. Now, another thing that helps, and you'll unlock as you progress more through the main story quests, is inn rooms, which are in the various guilds that I've mentioned throughout Eorzea. And in these guilds, as you progress through the story, they'll give you the option to go to these inns and sleep, which is basically just a fancy kind of room, you know, with music that you can play, rewatch cutscenes, summon a retainer, or even summon the A station to change your looks. It's basically for newer players like yourselves, just to go have a place to hang out in, or AFK in, basically. But the important thing is if you log out in this room, when you log back in after you've exited the game client, you'll be given this little moon symbol at the top next to your EXP bar. That moon symbol means rested experience, which is basically experience that is withheld from your rest. And this helps greatly as you're leveling, because it stacks onto whatever buff you may have, such as that ring or food. And along with buffs, besides those that I've mentioned, if you're in a group, which is known as a free company here, you can get actions by asking an officer or leader of the group, say, hey, can we get a heat of battle 2 or the heat of battle up? And it'll give you another percentage, like I can show you, I'm showing you here. The heat of battle 2 stacks you with 10%, and it lasts 24 hours. So along with your ring and your food, that'll give you a 45% bonus to your EXP, which helps quite a lot, along with your rested E experience, which will stack on an extra like 30% or so, and that helps quite a bit. Now there's another thing in the open world which you can use to help level besides the hunting log, of course, and that is called Fates, which I'm showing you on the map, mini-map here. Basically, these blue circled areas, they're known as Fates. And basically, you can go into them and you'll fight mobs, or you'll be collecting items and giving them to an associated NPC. Or sometimes you'll even have to fight and slay a boss mob within a time allotted to you. Now, along with the EXP buffs you're given, that will stack up and affect your overall rating at the end and give you a very nice chunk of experience earned. So these are good to grind out about if you're just looking for some fast EXP while you're waiting on a queue to get into a dungeon, you know, or, you know, guild hest. And yeah, it's a really nice thing that helps, and it's also something you can do while you're doing some side quests as well. If you just see one up, you just go right ahead, jump in and tackle it if you're up to the task, and that will help you get some nice EXP while you're waiting for a queue. Now there's dungeons. That's the next subject here. In dungeons, I'll show you that here through Duty Finder. You will typically unlock these through main story quests, but there are some which you'll have to talk to side quest related NPCs to unlock. And basically, as you can see to the right of them, it shows the level that's required to enter the dungeon, which the starting level is 15 and goes all the way up to 50. Dungeons will give you relatively more EXP that you earn than what you earn from Fates or guild hests or even side quests or your main story quests. And the reason is because they require a lot more effort to do, and they require that you work as a team with other players in the game. Now, some of the players can be pretty nasty, and it happens, you know, it's an MMO. You're always going to run into, you know, those one people who like to be assholes or smart Alex. Think they know every single thing, but you just gotta kind of take it at face value, you know, and try to get through the dungeon best you can. And like I said, if you did the Hall of the Novice training, that will help you a lot as you go into the dungeon to know what to do when mobs are coming up at you, your party, or such. And basically, at the end of the dungeon, since you guys are new, this game offers bonus experience to newer players. So this is a really good thing, especially if you're using, you know, those buffs I've talked about. This will tack on to those buffs at the end of the dungeon, and you'll probably get a level up, more than likely. And maybe sometimes even mid-dungeon you'll gain a level. So it's possible by doing dungeons to gain 2 or 3 levels. So as much as it sucks to wait for a party to form or start for them, it's a very good source of EXP. At least until you hit that max level of 50. Now, after you hit level 50, there's content that Square Enix, the development team of this game, have brought into this game to help players level up. And I'm going to take you there now. This place is in the Southern Shroud, which is in the Black Shroud area. And it's in a little kind of camp townish thing called Quarry Mill. But basically, it will give you what they call a deep dungeon, which basically in this deep dungeon, you'll go through it, you'll gain levels and various different rewards and what they call Ether Pool, which I'm going to show you here. Ether Pool, which is basically a strength meter. It gives you a bonus to your attributes, make it so you kill mobs a lot faster in this deep dungeon. And basically, in this deep dungeon, you'll go through 10 floors per queue. And these queues are a lot faster than dungeons, but for people that are new, just starting off, it's not really a very good leveling system for you. Which is why you should just stick to dungeons, fates, and the like until you hit level 50. Then you can come back here. Let's say you wanted to level another job, like say you're unhappy with Gladiator or Conjurer or, you know, Dragoon. Then you can come back here as a different job or class and basically just level your way up through here. And this quest is unlocked at level 20 and can be obtained in New Gridania, which I'll show you here on my map. New Gridania, in this area called the Roost, and you'll talk to an NPC, a Lalafell NPC, who will give you the quest that's called The House That Death Built. By accepting and completing this quest, you'll be able to run through this deep dungeon by speaking to this NPC here, the Woodwhaler Expeditionary Captain. Now, like regular dungeons, you'll be with other players, so you may run into some pretty nasty folks here and there, but it's okay. Just keep going on your own way and try to get through the dungeon best you can. But it's very important, though, however, I should mention, in dungeons to try and listen to feedback and advice that other players are giving you, and kind of not rush ahead and do your own thing, because that makes it harder for everyone involved, and it's just very unpleasant. So try to take advice at face value and consider it at least, because it will help you in the long run. Now, with this dungeon, your buffs won't help you as you're going through it, but they will stack at the end of it. Now, as I mentioned, you go through 10 floors. And at the 10th floor, you'll fight a boss battle. Well, after the boss battle, you'll get all of that experience that you've accumulated through the 10 floors. So basically, you know, as you kill mobs and go up to the boss fight, that experience will all come back to you at the end. But the very important thing is that they minimize it to your current level. Which is why I say it's not a good method for players who are just starting off in the game. Because that means that they won't be earning as much EXP as they could be earning if they had a level 50 job already in their possession. And I'll tell you why it's important to have the level 50 job. And that's because once you hit level 50, you'll be given what's called an armory bonus. And this is basically a nice form of saying, oh hey, you've hit max level, so we're gonna give you a little bit of a push to help you level your other jobs. And this, I believe, is a 50% bonus up. So that's really good when you stack that with the other EXP buffs that you may be using. And which could stack you all the way up to 100%, which will give you a definite level up. And this deep dungeon goes all the way up to 50 floors, and it's just 10 floors each time you queue in, from 1 to 50. And it's a very good way to learn another job that you may have an interest in playing at. Because in this dungeon you'll start from level 1, and you'll be given the level 1 actions associated with your class or job. And you'll just be able to go through the dungeon and basically learn what actions do what and how they function with each other. And that will basically be a really good learning experience for you newer players here. Alright, so that's basically everything you need to know about leveling up, gaining EXP in this game, A Realm Reborn. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you in future videos. Thank you.